Hi, I'm John. I'm a psychotherapist. We asked the internet for questions. We asked questions about mental health, emotional health, and well-being. And thank you very much. The internet has sent us lots of questions. This week, we are going to pick on one. I've looked up psychotherapy on the internet, and there just seems to be loads and loads of different things about psychotherapy and counselling. How do I choose which one is likely to help me and which might be best for me? A really, really good question, and thank you for that. I'm not going to read out the names of the people who send us these questions, just there's obviously some confidentiality issues there. Gosh, this could turn into an hour-long video. I promise it won't. It's such an interesting thing. If you look up psychotherapy, last time I looked, there was over 860 different types of psychotherapy. What does that tell us? It tells us that we are still in the learning phase about what works and what doesn't work. About 25 years ago, back in towards the end of the last millennium, two great practitioners, Joe Griffin and Ivan Tyrrell, did a very brave thing. They made themselves unpopular in some quarters, and they got together and they said, where is the evidence of psychotherapy and counselling that works? Because they kept coming across things which they thought were unhelpful. They kept coming across things which they thought actually in some instances were really quite dangerous. There had been a fashion from the 1960s and 70s about knowing yourself, about navel gazing and about self-examination. And some degree of self-understanding is clearly a good thing. But if it's making you emotionally aroused, if it's upsetting you every time you look inside yourself, it's not going to be helpful at all. So anyway, what Joe and Ivan did, they started a bunch of organising ideas, called them the human givens. And on a daily basis, those organising ideas inform my practice. They've got some great books. If you go to humangivens.com, you can find out an awful lot about it there. But importantly, as I said, what Joe and Ivan did was challenged some things which clearly were not helpful at the time. And they had to look around at evidence, real evidence of stuff that did help. And they decided to base their organising ideas around that to start with. One of those is brief solution-focused therapy. Solution-focused therapy, and it's one of a number of different solution-focused therapies. There's an important thing here. Somewhere on one of my websites it says at the beginning, how long would you like to spend in the dark, telling me how it feels to be in the dark, and when should we look for the light switch? And I can't actually think of a better analogy. Let me take you by the hand and help you to find your light switch. Is a really important way of looking at it. If your life is 99% terrible, how long do you want to spend talking about how terrible your life is? When should we look at what it is that's giving you the 1%? Now, these days we cannot take our mental and emotional health for granted. We used to, years ago. We used to just take it for granted, and if things went wrong, which they did occasionally, we would go to the doctors and get a magic pill, or we'd get sent off to a mental hospital if things got too bad. The world has changed, and I'm really glad it's changed. But a lot of it now comes under the umbrella of what is called talking therapies. Now, there's one very unfortunate thing that's happened, is that cognitive behavioural therapy has become a phrase which is used by everybody, which seems to be a catch-all, and it's not. Cognitive behavioural therapy is a conglomeration of cognitive therapy and behavioural therapy, which were brought together, and they are ideas which have been around for a long, long time. One of the reasons it became popular was because it was shown to be cheap. It was shown to be relatively simple and inexpensive. We've been through an iteration on that. The world has realised that it's not quite as simplistic as trying to use your logical brain. Let me try and sum this up. if you are looking around for the kind of psychotherapy that is likely to help you, look around for a good psychotherapist. Spend some time talking to them on the telephone or face to face or over some kind of video link. The most important thing in my experience, and the research bears this out, is that when you are sitting looking at your counsellor or psychotherapist, you have to have some sense that this person is going to be able to help you. They're not there to give you all the answers. They're there to support you and help you find the answers for yourself. However, and this is one of the major changes that there's been in the world of psychotherapy over recent years, is they must be prepared to give advice. So it's very clear that out of all these different types of psychotherapy, some are damaging, some are helpful, but the most important factor is the working relationship that you have with that person. And it's about your needs as a client, it's not about their needs. Another really important thing, if somebody tells you that it's going to be a painful process and you're going to have to go through all sorts of dark tunnels and you're going to have to sign up for 26 weekly sessions with them, back very quickly out of the door. There's just no truth in that at all. The average number of times that people see me is less than 5 before they've got the tools in their hands to go and help them resolve their own problems in life. Some people like to come back for a different quality of conversation later on, and that's fine, and I'm always up for that. But it's really important, this business of signing up for a minimum number of sessions, just don't go there. Try to make informed decisions about what works and what doesn't work for you. An awful lot of my work is about helping people upskill themselves. Let me give you a perfect example. If somebody's conflict resolution skills were learnt through watching a TV soap, they're not going to have really refined conflict resolution skills. So I help them to develop the skills in order to do that. Very often people can be struggling because they're in an environment which is not healthy, in some kind of toxic environment, and that might be at their home, at school, at work, and socially. Somebody might be struggling because they've been traumatised, and that's what's stopping them from getting over that obstacle of getting their needs met. And these days there are very, very effective ways of dealing with trauma. Post-traumatic stress symptoms are an unnecessary added layer of suffering to an already difficult life. So I hope that gives some idea about this whole psychotherapy thing. Read up, get somebody that is happy and able to build rapport with you. Find a psychotherapist that knows how to help you calm down. You are going to see them to borrow their thinking brains, not their emotional brains. Good luck with finding a good psychotherapist and a good way of doing psychotherapy. I very much hope that you find the help that you're looking for. If not, please do get in touch, and I will try and help you find somebody that will be able to help you. So please, if you found this interesting, please like and subscribe and hit that bell, and we'll pop up and tell you when our next video's up. But one last really important thing, please take care of each other and take care of yourself.